And if the ladies are the ones that realize being stringing along and waiting, you need to start valuing yourself and know what is your worth and be sensible. Don't get so caught up in, oh, but I care about him and I love him, and we're gonna see the thing for what it is and say, look, what is happening?
And now for our featured presentation. Hi everyone, welcome to another
Conversation with Lees.
Conversation with Lees. Happy to have you. Happy to have all our new subscribers. Welcome to the family. We are happy that you came on board, and we're now encouraging you to tell somebody else. We generally just choose topics that we know would be of help and that you're going to, learn something from, be encouraged by it, and be willing to share. Yes, and that's why we're here. For those who are here for the first time, please consider subscribing, and of course, if you like the content, drop a like on the video. A lot of our viewers are watching, they're not commenting yet, and the likes are there, but it could be more. Guys, when you comment, when you like the video, it helps the algorithm to give YouTube an opportunity to showcase us some more. Alright, so drop a like on the video, and of course, if you're here for the first time, please consider subscribing. Alright, so you'll have seen the topic, and specifically though, we are going to be talking about engagement. And we're going to start off with this. We know as Christians, we follow a certain rule, a certain protocol, a certain code of conduct, if you want to call it that way, right? And we get to be friends, and after friends, and if we find that there's interest, we talk to our pastor, talk to the parents of the lady, gents do that, and of course the lady will meet the parents of the man, and of course then we take it further into courtship, whatever, dating, and then we get engaged. Now, how long should the engagement be? Now, there's a very popular minister that I personally respect and have been taught a lot by him, and I listen to his sermons a lot. I think Michelle herself.
Yeah, I love to watch his
Bishop Noel Jones.
Videos,
we really, appreciate his ministry and thing. However, there's this lady who he has been dating, courting. What do you call it?
I don't know if it's dating or courting, because he tries not to put a label on it, but they have been friends for years.
For over 20 years. I remember, I think we saw him he was also on Preachers of LA.
Yeah.
And we had watched that series. I think he had two series, and it went off.
2 series, because it was getting controversial, and I forgot more or less maybe they didn't like how they look on camera and how people were perceiving their life. That's our assumption, and then it was cancelled. Different people.
Yeah, different people take it over.
But go ahead.
And Ian Loretta, I think that's her name. She's
a beautiful lady.
Yeah. They've been together for over 20 years. No, we say together because, let's say friends then, because we don't know if they were living together or what the case is. However, it is known that they are an item.
They are interested in each other.
Right.
So they have been, the label is friends for over 20 years.
So I think this year we saw a YouTube clip, and we're going to put a link in the description so you can look at it too. So this year he popped the question. He decided.
Yeah, I don't know.
He decided that he's going to get married. Now, as we said, we're going to put a link in the description so you can. I think it's about like a 10 minutes.
And that is after being asked for years. Aren't you going to pop the question? Aren't you going to marry?
Because the truth is, even on Preachers of LA, he was being, reminded, or he was being spoken to say, hey, aren't you going to whatever? No shacking up, yada yada. And she herself, I remember even when we were watching it at one point, you could see her frustration because she thinks that it's time that they get engaged because they have known each other for so long. 20, well, I think it's over 20 years. I don't know if it's exactly 20, 22 or whatever the time is. But she waited for a pretty long time. Surely I'll give too much for editing. Anyway, they have been together for a very long time. He decided to do some sort of proposal, and I said some sort of proposal because when you watch it, you can have your own opinion. Nevertheless, we are saying, and we have been married for over 20 years, right? So, how much years is it?
20 this year, 21.
This year make 22. God be glory.
You're correct, over 20.
We understand what a long courtship can cause. We understand that if you're interested in each other and you're spending time with each other and you say you love each other, having a long courtship or having a long engagement or taking long to engage somebody who you have interest in, to me is a potential recipe for disaster. Disaster in terms of how people perceive the both of you. Disaster in terms of the emotional instability that can take place. Disaster in the sense that the more time you give your physical part, your physical man, as Christians, because we understand that yes, we are filled with the Spirit and God has given us power and control over our bodies, but we also know that when you are in love with somebody, your emotions can come and override your conscious thinking. And it kind of baffles me to know that he was dating this lady for over 20 years.
And basically what we have saw on Preachers of LA, when I have known Bishop Jones for a while because I love to watch his preaching. He's a good minister, good preacher of the gospel, and a teacher. Never bored in watching his sermon and everything. But I think I've gotten the shock of my life when I watch Preachers of LA. And not only him, there are other ministers, but
although America think different from them, still completely.
But when they started showing their personal life, I say, that don't seem right, this don't seem right. Because at the time, that's when I first know of Miss Loretta, that okay, so he's talking to somebody and she's nice young enough lady, but mature woman. Because
at the time she was, because he's not
younger.
Yeah, because he's now 72.
72, and he looks good for his age. Yeah. He does.
And she's probably in her 40s.
Maybe around there. But you could see that she was submitting by him, and you could see that of course he's equally interested in her, but he labeled their thing or whatever it was at friendship. And he was asked a question by other ministers, even by Dietrich Garden. So sir, what are you waiting on to pop the question? And he was saying that marriage, I get the essence that his opinion that marriage is not something to run down. He have tried it once and it didn't work out, so he's in no hurry to get back to that. And we're looking at about over a 5-year period then. And I was saying, but then, sir, if that's the case, it seemed as if you were leading her on, because at one time he seemed like a pimp or my talk or my baby. I say, but you're a minister, I don't expect this. You understand? You know that she's interested in you. You understand? You call her your friend and she cooks and do just about anything. And even at one point when they were being interviewed, right? And the question was asked, what was she to him? And he was saying she was just a friend, and you could see that she was offended. She was
because
offended.
I think in her mind it was more than that. And the truth is, if you're dating somebody for 10, 15 years, you're going to feel like you're more than friends.
You understand? So basically, you know, it was question number for me, and of course, after time, after the review on what people were saying, even myself, about this don't seem right. All the ministers don't look like them a live and
they look away.
They didn't look away, look fleshy and
because quite frankly, guys, we're not condemning nobody. We just look upon the scenario, and we who been through certain things, I say, a long engagement, a long courtship, a long whatever it was for him, I don't think that is recommended.
And basically the Bible said, let not your good be even spoken of. So if the way in which the world operates in taking unto them a mate, it has to be different. The way in which the church or especially minister does it. So that it looked questionable. But no, again, after forgetting that, because that series, well, their series has stopped. Fucking all about that, you know, don't make it stop. It didn't stop me from watching his preaching videos, especially in Corona, the series, the pandemic. And you know, I found it very encouraging watching his preaching. But then now, when last week or the other day, now we start to hear about Pastor Noel Jones proposed to Loretta, and I said, what? Good, I thought that they were married by now, because I'm talking about about 5 years ago when they were friends. So I'm saying, wow, that's good. But then I said, wait, I thought they were married. So when I hear that they were engaged, I said, cool, alright, better late than never. And it's the same person because she waited long enough. But I get a shock of my life again when I was watching this proposal, because I'm saying, wait a minute, this is not a proposal. That's not how you propose somebody that you care about or somebody that you cherished and want to live with. Because basically what he was doing, he was saying, making a speech about, you know, after basically wanting somebody now maybe to push his wheelchair, you know, being at that age.
At 72, you know, he's talking about he had to give him a thing about, should I give up my Ferrari for a van? Should I give up my freedom, you know, to be accountable to somebody? If I want to go to Asia, or if I want to go to Africa, I could do it without saying to anybody. No, I have to say to somebody, should I give her that? And should she want to be there to push him in a wheelchair and whatever? I'm like, honestly, I say, that's not a proposal.
And there wasn't any real contact. It seemed as if he was more addressing the congregation than proposing to her. Because even after saying all of that, do I want to this, do I want to that, and you're going to ask a lady a question to marry you, and you're basically giving all the reason why she should not say yes. And,
in essence.
Yeah, and basically at the end of the day, when he asks for the ring, it's a jack in the box.
No, Cracker Jack.
A Cracker Jack box.
Yeah.
The ring is
literally
in. A literal cracker.
I think he made that for amusement.
But
still,
it wasn't funny because of the weird speech that he made about, I'm not certain, I want to.
And for the time that they were together and they were friends, I think it should have been something more solemn, something more serious, something that was saying to her, I honor and I respect and I appreciate your presence in my life.
That was
and I'm thankful that you waited this long, and I hope I can make up for all the time you spent, and you know make it be like
I found nothing engaging.
put all of the attention on she because she do a lot. She was
it's
there
like
for you.
he's basically saying, okay, so since as you waited this long,
so here it is.
And I don't see why, because if I'm gonna have somebody to push my wheelchair, then might as well it be you.
And after
you're so young, you can't find any better suitor out there, but since you wanted to me, are you able to put up with a man? Basically, he's saying who is so full of himself and
so verbosity and this and that.
I say, are you proposing or are you trying to say that, okay, since as you won't let me go, or since as you really want me so bad in all of my ways, I have no choice.
After him kneel down, he almost fell to the ground, but him catching balance.
Yeah, but then
put on the ring
is not his problem.
Put it on the ring. And then say, will you marry me?
So he puts the ring on her finger. Will you marry me? But he put on the ring and wait. Me not hear no yes, no nothing. And I could hear somebody in the crowd. And then he's walking away. After him hug her, then he's walking away. Then somebody said, she didn't answer. And they said, what do you say? What do you say? And she said, yes, I say yes. And by then, a crowd of people in the congregation hugging her and him walk. There's no engagement.
I'm getting married, and just walked away.
Yeah, it just seemed.
Like, whoa, that
seemed very cynical.
That never looks so hot, though. I mean, it never look appropriate to me.
You could see that it most
but she was pretty happy
that
to get the ring.
She's happy and she's anxious and she's getting the ring. It's like one of them to the ring and say, all right, sit here. And it's oh my God. And he's like, that's the impression. But at the end of the day, 20 years is a lot of years for a lady to be waiting. And the way in which he was proposed, I wonder under what conditions she was waiting, because he's talking about giving up his freedom and all of these things. I mean, at 72 years, so you should be happy that you're gonna,
and that,
somebody so young and beautiful is gonna marry.
And that she stuck it out.
So, and he don't seem like he seemed like he's a good person, but his personality seems a lot of self-absorbed.
Yeah.
You understand? I could say a lot of stuff with a hand in the pocket and,
guys,
should I?
All of what we're saying, it'll be in the description. So you can
check it out for yourself.
But we are saying in essence that a long courtship or a long it's a
20
recipe.
Years wait. For such
over
a proposal, I don't really see
it. I have debate for the proposal. We're talking about the length of the time that it take to actually, decide. And even though the engagement, you can take another time to marry her,
A lot.
You understand me?
Well, it's up to she because
you can engage her, but I'm telling you, 2 years if he so desire or whatever.
I don't like the pimp behavior though. You're a minister. And you are a respected minister. Be a minister. Don't come off as a little worldly,
as if
pimpy,
you just, I mean,
as if
the truth is,
and then she's there like, oh, it's an honor.
The scripture says that we are at liberty, but we must use our liberty as an occasion to just do whatever we want to do. And it just looked like that's what he did. And
as ladies, you need to value yourself too. It doesn't matter if the world look upon the person, if they seem famous or how much pedestal they may be put on. You have to have pride in yourself.
I was thinking about it. I mean, I know you can't tell. Say for example, you're finding someone who you like and it's a mutual feeling. I know you can't tell the person, listen, within the next 3 years I have to get married, or the next 2 years. It's supposed to be something that the both of you go and look at and then make a decision. However, yes, you need time to get to know each other, but there's a level that you can't go beyond until you're married. So if you're dating somebody, say a year or two, I mean, at least in the 3rd year you must get married. Why would you want to go 5 years, 10 years, 6 years?
As a follower of Yahweh, you have to be different. You should know if you're courting someone to get married, you don't need no 2-3 years. You understand me? You don't need that because
no. In the sense that if them get into, I mean, because remember you and I were friends for 3 years.
Yeah, but we were
within
friends.
The 3 years.
We did not cross. Remember?
We started talking in 1997.
97.
Right. And we got married in 2000.
But nevertheless, though we were friends for one another, we did not cross on the line. We did not try to get in. You understand? Like,
I mean, nobody never lived. We were living in a concubinage life. You know, we never lived together.
No, but at the end of the day, before, I don't know if you remember, but before we truly fess up that there were real feelings, that was like a year and a half after. And the only reason why, again, after we acknowledged that we really care for each other, that we weren't at the place because of being young and just starting working and all of those stuff, we weren't able to say have the funds so much to get married. It's not that we wouldn't have done it, it's just that we weren't capable financially to do so as yet. So we had to work and save, and in those 2 years that we were working and saving,
year and a half
that we were working and saving, we didn't have the liberty of really being in each other's company only at church, because
I mean, and we chose to wait for each other at the bus stop.
At the bus stop, and then that's in the presence of people also. You understand? But once you're capable and physical, you have made a decision and you are financially ready, you should get it done. You should not be.
Because what it does, it puts pressure on you. It puts pressure on you emotionally. It puts pressure upon you mentally. It puts pressure upon you sexually.
And then your ambassadors of Christ have to set an example.
If you genuinely love each other, your emotions are going to come into play.
Yeah.
So a long courtship, a long engagement is only asking for trouble.
If it's not financial wise, what could have been the next thing? And if it's not study wise, because you know that some person also, they rather to finish their studies and then get married. Fine.
Although you can get married and still
but it is too much pressure. It is too much pressure like that. If you're a too young person just starting life and you're studying, it's best that you get that over, because being together comes with its own tediousness. And when you're studying, you need a clear mind and everything. Get it out of the way. Kind of, have a financial balance going. So be employed and all of that. Then you get married. However, if you know that you're not in a situation, you understand, to get married because of financial issues and studies, you try not to get in too close and be too public about it. You understand? You live discreetly. You understand? Don't live as and act as if you're married when you're not. And if you have no interest to truly settle down and marry such an individual, why are you quoting for so long? What's the point? Is it a boyfriend and girlfriend relationship?
And of course, yes, you can be friends without get into marriage or whatever.
Exactly, you don't need to court to be friends.
But you often know what you're doing, and if you're not mature enough to handle certain things, you don't enter to it. And if you enter to it, that means you're mature enough to get married. If you're mature enough to get married, don't wait forever.
Exactly, and things are not. What is running away? Sex is not running away.
We can't beat it down.
You understand?
You're setting up yourself for trouble when you have this long courtship or a long engagement.
Exactly, and if you're trying to secure somebody and hold them because you say, okay, I promised to you and you promised me, and you're trying to secure, why? If it's yours, it's yours.
Whatever is yours,
it's yours. And if you just hurry to hold, is it that you want to have this long courtship and then hide and have sexual activity? It's not running away. You're setting up yourself, because the embarrassment of being found out when you have compromised yourself.
Apart from embarrassment, it's just a personal conviction too.
But most people conviction gone through it. You understand? So it does not only affect you, it affects your assembly. For those persons who think that okay, it's my business and whatever, it affects the assembly, because what you don't know is that others are looking on, and not necessarily church members, the world. Yeah. You understand? You could very well turn off someone from coming to know Christ.
So
the way in which you conduct yourself and prolong these long things and let your good be even spoken of.
So separate and apart from even church, we are saying even if you're not a Christian, if you're in love with somebody why string them on forever and ever? Amen. I mean, especially if you really know that this person is somebody you really want to spend your life with, and you're able financially to do it, get it done. Get it done. If the person's life can only be better if you're in it, and vice versa. So if that's the case, why take forever to do it?
Yeah.
You understand me? So we are saying this long length of really courtship, and
not
especially for
necessary.
Christians, and the long engagement, it's not necessary. Get it done, and once you're able to, get it done. Get your family involved, get your parents involved, have the discussions that we discuss, and plan and everything, and get it done.
And I
Save
want to
yourself the
think,
trouble.
I want to think that you don't have some persons out there who are holding people hostage to scout around. Meanwhile, you're telling one person that, okay, I'm promising myself to you, I'm going to get married X time, all of it. You hold that person in view, and then behind the person's back, you're scouting others. That is selfishness.
Yeah,
it is selfish, and it's not Christ-like. That is the act of the enemy. Yeah,
because then
that's a player
male,
a player
you look
behavior.
like a player.
It simply means that you're a player. There's no going around it. And at the
But
end
then you
of
have
the
ladies who probably,
and whether it
so
doesn't matter
way,
which sex you are a player.
Aye, take time. Never so hard.
It doesn't matter through this one. You are a player, and you need to stop it. And at the end of the day, you also create what you call division among brethren. Because can you imagine you're there talking to somebody for 2-3 years, and you're feeling like, okay, we're gonna get married, and it's just this reason why, and as soon as you cross over that hurdle, now I expect that, okay, proposal, because we sort that out. You only get to find out, say, either the person not interested anymore or something for no good reason, and then that person is leave behind, and only to find out that maybe a couple months later you're with another person moving right on. It's unfair. And then what you call now, you call strive amongst brethren, because you think the person is just going to walk away and say, okay, I guess he wasn't interested. No, people's time are important. You understand? So I mean, and if the ladies are the ones that realize being stringing along and waiting, you need to start valuing yourself and know what is your worth, and be sensible. Don't get so caught up in, oh, but I care about him and I love him, and we're going to see the thing for what it is and say, look, what is happening? How long is this thing?
You don't want to. That can only happen when you're at a position where you can have the conversation. You don't want to push your body, because you don't want to force anybody to marry you if you don't want to.
That's why you bring it to an end. It's not being pushy about it.
No, but you can't go to him and say, yo, one year.
Exactly.
No, you can't do that. That's not the
you
approach.
can.
You can't do that.
Listen,
that's not the approach.
listen,
I
am already gone through the day. Thanks to God. I am already gone, but in my opinion, if you are courting mate going 2 years, and I see that you have no interest to leave from courtship, and there's no reason why we should not move on to the next level, I'm gonna sit you down and ask you what is happening, because what's the real reason.
Notice I didn't say you can't, and I'm saying
but that's what I'm saying. Yeah, but I'm not a bully. But at the end of the day, you need to sit down.
You say, that's what I was saying.
Well, you know better because you know me. I'm just trying to say that at the end of the day, just have enough self-respect and love for yourself, and know that you are worth the effort. And if someone approach you for courtship and you go to your minister and everything, don't sit around with them for 2-3 years waiting and it's not going anywhere. Pay attention to the fine print or the details of what is happening, and know when it's time to say, with all due respect, this don't seem to be going anywhere. You don't have a reason for all of this long drawn out thing. So I think it's best if we're not going to move on to the next stage. No hard feelings. I'm stepping out of
so
this.
That is what I'm saying. We're teaching them, so we have to do the right approach.
Well, they should know.
No. We have to do the right approach. So they are not. So what we're saying to them is this: have the conversation, because you don't want to come off of being pushy either. But you understand, you know your worth, and you're saying to the person, okay, you have been dating for a while, you've been courting for a while, and we should have been at a position where we can now have this conversation and move forward. But it doesn't appear that you're there yet, and I don't want to waste my time, neither do I want to waste yours. So I think we have to cut. So it's when you, yourself, understand your worth and know, okay, I don't need to really string you on. I don't want to think that you are stringing me on. I don't want to string you on. So let's move on. Right? If you say you're already engaged, right? And you're seeing signs or seeing things that you know you can't deal with. It is, engagement doesn't mean you have to go through it. The engagement mean we are engaged and we're moving towards marriage. But if you're seeing things and you have the discussion about what you're seeing and there's no change, you can come out of it still.
Yeah.
Right? You can have the conversation and say, listen, there are some things that I see and we have had discussions about it, and we're not seeing change. I can't move forward with this. Guys, what we're saying, when you're going on anything here, just go in with a clear head. Clear enough to say, if you see certain things we don't appreciate, you can say, no what, this is not for me, and you can move on. Because when you're married, you cannot just reverse it. Yeah, you can get divorced.
Yeah, but it's more tedious.
That's a whole bag thing again.
Up until even when you're at the altar, I mean, you don't want to joke about. At the end of the day, things are there, you see, and it's a reasonable doubt that, oh, I'm not sure this is the way I should go. You have up until when you say, I do. I'm not talking up until when you sign the paper.
And the truth is, you know, you don't want to waste your money.
Yeah.
Just, you see certain things from early out. You don't have to go. You don't have to get. You don't have to say, "Well, I don't want to look too bad. I'm gonna still marry the person." Hey,
it's gonna look worse if you get married, because of it. You waste all your savings and what have you, and then you just can't.
So we're just saying, even having a long engagement is not the best thing, and for whatever time and period you're having an engagement, if you see some things we don't suit you, have the discussion. If there's no change, you can opt out. You can choose to opt
It's
out.
fine to change your mind upon a good reasonable basis.
Yeah. Right. But those type of conversation have to be had, and then a decision has to be made so that you cannot waste your time and neither put yourself in a position where things can happen you don't want to happen.
Yeah, right? And if you find out that the individual, say for instance, because some persons are daring enough to be talking to more than one person, and if you do find out that okay, this person was stringing alone and the facts are there and everything, don't go and be in any animosity or any argument with another female or anything about that and say, look, I've been talking to him from when. No, just gently ease yourself out of it and say thank you, have a nice life, and that's it. You don't need to make it about another person.
Alright, so we hope you heard something that will help you, because what we actually, and how we have been said, we don't want to be regurgitating, but we're saying long courtship and long engagement unnecessary. If you love the person and both you have a mutual understanding and you have gone through the introductions and the whatever and the coach when you get married, save yourself the trouble, get married. Alright, so again, we hope you guys heard something, and if you have a friend who needs to hear this and you're free to tell them, share the link, send them the video. They'll appreciate the fact that you're looking out for them and you gave them this video that would give them the real talk. Alright, that's what we do, real talk. So on to our next live, which is Sunday all being well. Come and join us. It's 8:30 each Sunday night. And if we're not gonna have it, we will let you know. But it's scheduled for 8:30 each Sunday night. So until our next live and until our next video upload, we're saying God bless and see you on the other side. Alright?